All right, everybody, that's a wrap. That's a wrap on the game. Rams win 20-10. It's a wrap on the season. The playoff odds are now somewhere between 0 and 0.2%, depending on who you ask. Not even worth talking about. It's a wrap on this core because at least something involved with this group needs to get out of here this offseason. Some part of this core of players and coaches, something needs to be changed. And I think that a officially losing season should really hammer that home in the minds of a vast majority of the fans. Maybe it's a wrap on my ability to take the NFL seriously because, goddamn, I'm going to go in on that a little later. It's a wrap on a lot of the things that people have been able to lean on in terms of stability with this team, not having a losing record while we had Wilson. Wilson having at least a winning record every year that is now over. Even if he wins out, he will be 7-7 on the year, so no winning season for him. It's a lot of things, and you guys know how I do things around here. I like to use these post game videos as an opportunity to focus on what we did wrong. Really, just focus on why we lost. And if we win, then I focus on the things we did right. I try to keep it to what this team has control over. And of course, we're going to get into that stuff. Of course, we're going to talk about the play calling was rough. We're going to talk about Wilson really just not having a good game, not having the kind of game that he needed to have in these circumstances. We can talk about maybe, I don't know, Bobby Wagner didn't have his best game. We can talk about Gabe Jackson and Damian Lewis both getting blown up on a couple of in a couple of crucial instances. We can talk about that game management. We'll get to all that because that is important. But this is going to be one of those times where I I can do nothing else but observe that this game was a bunch of horse crap. This game was horse crap, and you guys know I spent a lot of the last several days defending the NFL for their decision to move this game. They 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 had to do something that was the most reasonable option. It ended up working out okay for them because there was no there was no massive Seahawks breakout, and the Rams didn't get everyone back. But there will be no mercy for the NFL in this video because holy crap. I know you want the Rams to make the Super Bowl, but give me a break with this. They don't want people on YouTube cussing, so I'm going to try not to, but you gotta be kidding me. Look, this defense, what else can they do? They're missing their best cornerback. They're missing their Pro Bowl caliber strong safety. They're missing a lot of things. We already know they don't have much of a pass rush, but they grinded, man. They grinded. 20 points against a good offense on the road, and 10 of those points came on drives that should never have happened if not for the NFL deciding, oh, you know what? We got to make sure the Rams win this game. We got to make sure they win the division. We got to blah, 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 blah. So, the defense, what else can they do? Dunlap has a monster game, 3 sacks. Where have you been, my guy? We might not be in this situation if you had been playing like that the whole season. The run defense, they hold strong early in the game. As the game went on, yeah, they gave up some stuff to Sony Michel, a couple of big carries. But how are you going to hold up? How are you going to hold up for that long when you're getting crushed in TOP again? We forced a red zone turnover, Quandre Diggs again, and we are going to have a hell of a time paying that dude. I supported the decision to make a bet on him not having a monster 2021, but it has backfired officially because he is having another really good year, and it's going to be hard to keep him. And again, I don't even know if I really want to keep him that badly because I understand you don't want to pay that much money to a safety, but whatever. Okay, that's neither here nor there. This defense, like, what else do you want from them? They're grinding. They're dealing with the Rams' offensive line holding constantly, never gets called. Meanwhile, every other play, they're throwing flags on our offensive line. Like, how obvious are you guys going to make it? Sean Hockley, you're a piece of ass. I wish so many bad things on that dude. I wish so many things that I can't even say in a YouTube video on that dude. So, yeah, this defense grinded tonight. And I bash Pete Carroll like no one else. I'll go at Ken Norton when it's time, when I feel like it's appropriate, but I can't say anything bad. They're working without some of their key guys, and they found a way to play well enough to win. 20 points, and 10 of those points came on drives that should not have existed were it not for Sean Hockley getting his orders from Roger Goodell. So, yeah, this defense, they're making it hard. They're going to make it hard to actually get rid of Carroll this offseason. They're going to make it hard to make the changes we need to make. And don't get me wrong, I am not suddenly coming to Pete's defense because he can't draft anymore. He can't make these picks. His game management sucks. All these things are still true, but that defense is grinding right now, and I got nothing bad to say about him. And look, even the offense, okay, the only ire I might really have goes towards Russell Wilson, because that sucked, okay? I understand things are not ideal. You don't have your right tackle. You don't have your favorite wide receiver. But you know what? Things are not going to be perfect sometimes. You are supposed to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. You are making $35 million a year. This is not a great Rams defense. And frankly, the offensive line for most of that game, not the whole game, but most of that game, held up reasonably well. How many times did Wilson drop back and have like 10 seconds in the pocket? Just hold the ball, hold the ball, hold the ball, hold the ball, hold the ball. I saw quite a bit of that. So no, it's not the offensive line. It's not the running game either. It wasn't an amazing running game, but I will take that when I know that our running back situation is completely off the chain. Literally had nothing except DJ Dallas for a chunk of this game. Literally, for a part of this game, had nothing but DJ Dallas, and you still grinded out 4.2 yards a carry. I'm not crazy about the play calling tonight. There was a decent chunk of run, pass. Wani Kirk, welcome to the channel, brother. Good to see you. I'm not crazy about some of those play calls. There was a lot of like just run the ball for 2 yards, run the ball for 2 yards, throw the ball, just that classic Pete Carroll stuff. Some of the third down calls I didn't love, but if there's any ire that I have for anybody right now, the only guy who I can direct any of it at would be Wilson, because that was a very mediocre game in a spot where we needed you to be great, where you are paid to be great. And he wasn't even good. He might have been about average. Missing DK Metcalf on that deep shot, underthrowing him by 15 yards, that's the game. You hit that play, you've got a chance. That was such a huge moment of that game, and he misses him by 15 yards. One of the first sack he took against Von Miller, awful. Get the ball out of your hands, get out of the pocket, run. I didn't see Wilson take off to run once this whole game. I'm pretty sure he didn't do it once. Okay, we've got running back problems. Keep it on one of those damn read options. Keep it for once in your life. Haven't seen that barely at all this season. If you're not fat, if you can do it, then do it. But yeah, I think the offensive line played okay. I mean, especially with Jake Curhan in there, they held up in pass protection way better than I thought. The run blocking was decent. Again, we've really got something going on that right side of the line with Gabe and Curhan. I don't have a lot of ire for most of this team. And even the Wilson thing, like, yeah, he didn't play well. We need him to play better in these situations. We need him to step up. And he quite simply didn't make a few plays that could have flipped this game. He made a couple of big negative plays. Even then, it's like, you don't have Tyler Lockett. You're working with a UDFA right tackle. The running backs, you're down to guys who are basically, in terms of what we've seen from them overall, practice squatters. Metcalf, he missed a couple of opportunities to maybe make a play, although Wilson did not make it any easier for him. I can't even get that mad at Wilson, right? Like that was not a good game at all. I'm not happy with the way he played. I don't feel like we got our money's worth tonight, but it's an uphill battle. So I can say all that stuff, but realistically, for the most part, I have some praise to hand out to these guys. Gerald Everett had a good game. Metcalf made some plays. I know he left a couple of potential plays out there, but Wilson definitely hung him out to dry a few times. Even Freddie Swain made a nice play. Didn't really like Eskridge not getting involved. Very, very little going on for Eskridge. That frustrated me. But overall, yeah, the offense was not really good tonight. But again, it's just hard for me to direct a lot of ire at our players right now. Our special teams did good outside of the Alton Robinson play, which, hey, I mean, I'm not defending that. That was a play, no cap. It looked like Alton Robinson did not know that you weren't allowed to run into the punter. He looked like he just did it to do it, and he didn't know that it was illegal. So, I don't. I don't know what to say about that. I like Alton. People are entitled to make mistakes, but that was a huge play in this game. Would have made things a lot more interesting at the end there. But yeah, in terms of the actual players on this team, the only irritation that I really have towards any one player, the only guy who I'm really down on right now is Wilson. We needed A plus Wilson. We got like C plus Wilson, maybe. Too many plays left out there. And there were moments, man, where he looked like he was clicking. Looked like he had it geared up to get the ball out of his hands quickly. But then you just see him hold on to the ball, hold on to the ball, hold on to the ball. And it's just... You're playing Aaron Donald, Von Miller, and Leonard Floyd, dude. Come on. So, that's really all I can say about this team. I'm not that upset at them. There were a couple plays that were left out there, a couple of missed tackles, especially in the second half. Okay, you want to get on the defense for giving up the long touchdown drive in the fourth quarter after the penalty, fine. But I can only go so far with it because that game was a joke. And I said the Seahawks should turn the game into a joke if they couldn't field a real roster, but they didn't need to because the NFL did. I mean, where do I start? How many times is the LA center and the right tackle going to get away with holding? 6, 7 times this game. And I wouldn't care at all if they weren't calling holdings on our offensive line, but they are. So give me a break here. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, okay, that's just part of the NFL. Referees missing holding calls in the trenches are part of the game. I can live with that. Whatever. That's just the cost of doing business sometimes. Sometimes they just miss that stuff. But this game really swung on 2 plays in the fourth quarter. Third down, Rams throw it incomplete. Cooper Kupp gets bailed out with a horse crap holding call on, I think it was Austin. Just a complete joke, complete acting job. I look, the defense still gave up a long touchdown drive after that play. I get it, but that is such a ridiculous break for this Rams team to get at home when they've already had the game moved to try to help them out. And it did help them out a little bit. It didn't help them a lot, but they did get Von Miller and Jalen Ramsey out there because of that. So that was ridiculous. And then after you donate them that touchdown, 4th and 6, linebackers straight up tackling DJ Dallas before the ball gets there, swiping down at his arms. Even Dean Blandino can't defend this crap. Dean Blandino gets on there to do damage control for the NFL every single week. Even he can't find it in his heart to say, yeah, I think that's defensive. No, he's like, I don't know why the flag didn't come out there. Like, man, what an absolute joke of a game. Honestly, the season's over anyway, so if you're a Seahawks fan and you want to boycott the rest of the year and not watch, I can't blame you for it. I'd love to do it too, partially, but look, I got 6,000 plus subscribers who want to see me talk about the Seahawks, so I'm going to keep watching. I'm going to learn what I can learn, but oh boy, what an absolute mess of a game. And when you combine that with the fact that the NFL did move this game, and I'll say it again, I think that was a defensible decision by the NFL, but on top of what I can only call a game that felt like the NFL had just predetermined that the Rams were supposed to win, then some people are going to say some things, and I don't blame them. So, oh boy, just a bunch of crap. I usually don't talk this much about refs, but that game calls for it. So, the big picture does not change for me. This team is flawed. This team needs to blow some things up. We need to get some new. We need to refresh the roster. We need to refresh this coaching staff. We need to change something. Maybe we need to change a lot of things. Even if the referees had not decided to completely hand this game to the Rams and we would have won, I would have felt that way. I mean, again, it's not like the team played terrible tonight. I'm not going to pretend like that. I think the defense played their ass off. I can't say anything bad. They even got some pressure tonight. It took a while, but they did eventually start to get some pressure. But big picture wise, I'm still kind of in the same place. This team is flawed. This team, they still do so many things over the course of a game that makes you wonder why. Like, why are we dropping defensive linemen into coverage all the time? Why are we putting Jordan Brooks into coverage on Cooper Kupp? Just why? I know. That being said, like we're short on defensive backs, so at a certain point you have to ask yourself, like, okay, there are no good options. You have to admit that to yourself that there are no good options. You have to pick an option, but I don't know. I don't know. Game management awful. We took a timeout and a false start on a big 3rd and 1. Ran the ball on 3rd and 6. Like, who does these things, man? Ran the ball on 3rd and 6 when you know the game's on the line. Like, I don't know. I don't know. They didn't play terrible tonight. Honestly, I have mostly positive things to say about most players on this team right now, but even though the referees handed LA this game, it just too many weird things that they do that don't make any sense to me. Something's got to change. We're going to talk about it in stream in a little bit. I'm going to get this video up, and then we will discuss it in further detail. But it's one of those games where it's really hard for me to know where to be, because the team played well enough to win, and then got hosed. But I still want big changes. Look, even if we had won this game, we'd be 6-8. That's not a good record. That's really all I can say about that. Even if we had won tonight, which I honestly feel like we probably should have, this is not a good team. Don't forget that. But look, if I can bash Pete Carroll when he messes up, I can praise him for this. This defense went crazy tonight. They did everything they could. Great game. Just wish it could have resulted in a win. See you guys in stream later. Peace out. Go Hawks. I don't know. What do you guys think? It's so hard to really put together how to feel about this one, but I did the best I could. Go Hawks.